Breaking news on that rock slide that shut down I-40 overnight.
News 13's Victoria Dunkle joins us live on the phone from Haywood County, where they just reopened the interstate. Good morning, Vic.
Good morning, Jay and Holly. In fact, that's exactly why I'm on the phone with you. When we started coming out this way into the rockslide area, we noticed that it looked pretty well cleared up. They had the right lane closed on a little stretch, not even a half-mile stretch prior to the Harmon Den or exit 7 here, just east of the state line with Tennessee. When we got up there, we were trying to find some folks who could talk to us. Ran into one of the DOT workers. He said they'd had great success clearing all the mud and debris that came down. As we look at some of the video from the rock or the mudslide itself there, you can see it made a real mess of the interstate, but they had good success clearing it up. And he told me that they were opening up at 5 o'clock this morning. That is well earlier than the noon open time that they had thought would probably be their best bet today. So they did get it done a lot faster. On the way out, I saw a lot of trucks pulled along the side of the road, kind of waiting it out. And of course, every moment they have to wait is money that is down the drain for their for themselves, for the companies, and so on. So this is good news for the truckers who are going through this really busy thoroughfare, and for people who make this their morning commute. So at this time, at 5 o'clock this morning, the DOT crews reopened I-40 westbound, all lanes following the mudslide, the rock slide that closed it down overnight. And again, one thing to point out, no one was injured in this, but there was one car that did get hit when the debris came down. Unfortunately, no one hurt in all of this. I'll have more on the efforts to get it cleaned up and how they were successful overnight coming up in our next half hour. Reporting live in Haywood County, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.
We have breaking news on that rock slide in Haywood County. Just about 30 minutes ago, we learned that I-40 westbound did reopen.
News 13's Victoria Dunkle joins us live this morning. Victoria, how did they get it cleared out so quickly?
Well, they brought in the big equipment. As we saw yesterday, just a little bit before 8, around 7:45, we got word from the Highway Patrol and the DOT that the mountainside had come down on the westbound lanes of I-40 here. This is near the Harmon Den exit, which is just behind me here, and it caused major trouble for the road that point. If we take a look at the video, you'll see the job they had ahead of them. Once it was determined the road was safe for them to bring in the heavy equipment, that's exactly what they did last night. You can see the situation. They brought in a backhoe to get the bigger pieces out, and then when we drove up this morning, they still had it barricaded off, but it looked all clear on the inside of those barricades. So we found one of the DOT workers, talked to them a little bit about what happened. He said they had had great success getting it cleared up overnight and were about ready to remove those barricades, and in fact they did so at 5 o'clock. When you saw the mess, though, there's little doubt that the rain was a definite cause.
This stretch of I-40 is prone to rock slides. It's been evaluated, and the likelihood of rock slides does exist. That likelihood increases when we have periods of wet weather, but we've done a lot of things through the gorge through the years to make it safe, like, for instance, here installing the safety nets and drapes, the wire drapes, to try to keep rock fall from going so far out into the travel lane.
And once again, we had the breaking news for you at 5 o'clock this morning. The DOT reopened all of the westbound lanes. They cleared out those barricades for that right lane that was closed, and all traffic is moving smoothly at this point. Coming up in our next half hour, I'm going to let you know if they found anything unusual beneath there that could lead to more extensive repairs for that stretch of road. Reporting live in Haywood County, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.
Roughly 9 hours after rock slide shut down part of I-40 in Haywood County, News 13 brought you the breaking news that it reopened at 5 o'clock this morning.
News 13's Victoria Dunkle is live there now. Victoria, no surprises in the cleanup?
No, not really. They actually said it was pretty much a straightforward cleanup. As you can see, behind me is the overpass here. That's the eastbound lane where that truck just went through. But on the other side, you can see both lanes of traffic are open too. Of course, no one's going down that way right now because we're live. But just a moment ago, the truckers were going right by there. A lot of trucks were waiting it out, hoping to see this happen. Now, if you look at some of the video from last night when this rock slide happened, just a little bit before 8 o'clock, around 7:45, it came down on the road, especially into the right lanes of the westbound traffic area over there on right before the Harmon Den or number 7 exit here. And the crews, once they got the clearance to go in, they had a big job ahead of them. They brought in the backhoes and they had trucks and they loaded up all the debris. Another round of rain just proved to be too much for this mountainside.
Well, there's no doubt rain is certainly a factor on rock slides. Anytime we have increased water tables, rainfall, of course, contributing to that, then the likelihood of rock slides goes dramatically up.
And of course, when you hear the word rock slide here in Haywood County in the gorge, there's always that very tense time when you're in the situation kind of holding your breath, because of course in 2009 that huge rock slide shut down this stretch of interstate for about a year. Fortunately, not the case. About 9 hours later, the crews had it back open and traffic is moving smoothly. Reporting live in Haywood County, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.
Traffic is again moving on I-40 westbound after a rock slide. News 13 brought you breaking news when it reopened at 5 this morning.
Victoria Dunkle is live at the scene where crews cleared that mess 7 hours earlier than expected, Vic.
That's right. When we last checked in with the DOT crews last night on our 11 o'clock news, they had said noon today is when they hope to have it reopened. When Adam and I rolled up here on the scene this morning, we were wondering where all the debris was. We ended up having to track down one of the DOT workers, and he was happy to tell us they were about 2 minutes away from reopening the road at 5 o'clock this morning. You can see there the trucks are going by, both lanes moving smoothly at this point. They did have to roll out some big equipment to make that happen. They rolled out the backhoes and trucks, and they were loading this debris, as you can see in the video. It was a major rock slide that came down onto the interstate around 7:45 last night, and it caused quite a bit of trouble, shut down the westbound lane throughout the night. And it was a situation where the DOT crews realized quickly that they had a pretty big job ahead of them.
Well, it was significant because it did get out in the lane and it is impacting traffic, and it did in fact strike a vehicle.
Well, speaking of that vehicle, what happened with that? A driver was coming along as the mountainside gave way. The debris started hitting his car. He swerved and actually hit another car, but no one was hurt in that situation. So fortunately, no injuries tied to this rock slide, and it is all clear. The road's back open, both westbound lanes moving smoothly this morning here in Haywood County at mile marker 7. That's the Harmon Den exit. Reporting live in Haywood County, Victoria Dunkle, News 13.